Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Gold Rush. Today we are going to be doing lots and lots of digging. Well, we're going to be doing some digging. What the plan is, I'm going to do 3 loads with this bad boy right here, and when I've done 3 loads with this one, the mats and everything over there on the shakers should be full. At least that's what I'm hoping. And I was thinking of doing like a double lot and get the mats full, rinse them all out, and then get another lot as well before I start panning for all of the gold. Decided against that. I'm going to fill the mats up once, and they won't actually get completely full. They will get to 90s, mid-90s they'll be. And then once we've gotten to that point, we will then wash them all out in buckets and pan for gold, get as much as we can, rush that over to the blacksmith and sell all of that gold, and then we'll sort of see from there. So I'm still undecided at the moment about whether I will go first with a pile of gold and take a whole load of hog pans and take them over to quite probably I'll take a load of hog pans over to Two Rivers. Not Two Rivers. I keep saying Two Rivers. It's not Two Rivers at all. It's over to River Town. I will go to River Town with a load of hog pans, and I'll get at least 10 of them. And I'll take those. Once I've got those over there, we'll then start getting extra employees, and I'll put all of these extra employees in onto the hog pans, and hopefully start earning like a load more gold. And I'd like to sort of do that. I want to do that before I start trying to get the bulldozer, because I suspect that is something that would be patched fairly soon, because even though we can do it in theory, I can't see it being something that they've sort of intended as being a base game mechanic. So in order to sort of make the most of it, we'll get that fairly soon, just in case it is something that is removed. And that should help us to really start increasing the amount of gold that we're bringing in. And then while we do our second round of earning gold, sort of filling up the mats and everything, we should have extra workers there working away on all of the hog pans. Now, we could sort of wait until we get all of our workers at above 50% to put on these 10 hog pans that we're going to get, or maybe more. It depends how many I can squeeze into a trailer and the pickup. But I'm thinking to start with, we'll just grab every worker that turns up, and then we'll sort of we can improve them later on. We can start swapping them out later once we've sort of maxed out all of the workers. We can then start maxing out the percentages on the workers and get them all up. So if we've got like a whole fleet of workers here that are all above 60%, that would be absolutely awesome. We'd be getting, the money would be absolutely pouring in just from them alone. Plus, we've now got the whole of the tier 3 thing up and running with this dump truck, and it does appear to be getting us a big pile of gold. Several people have said that the slower rate at which the mats and the buckets and everything fill up with the tier 3 now compared to what it was when we first started using it, it reflects a lot more how it should be. It should take quite a long time. There should be a lot of material can be processed through that thing before you've got to start washing it and emptying out. So this is actually how it's supposed to be, and previously it was an error and it was filling up way too fast, and you weren't getting enough gold in there either. It's filling up slower now, but you're getting more gold in the mats as well. So people have been throwing around figures like 80 ounces of gold in a full wash for all 6 mats completely rinsed out. So what we're going to do is we get a load of buckets. I don't know yet how many buckets it takes to rinse one mat, whether one mat will rinse completely in a single bucket or if it's going to be more than that. If one mat at 100% gold, will it rinse completely in one bucket, or will you be able to take it over and rinse it in a second bucket as well and get a bit more gold out of it from that? I'm not quite sure. So it'd be interesting to find out all of these little answers, all these little things that we kind of want to know. Let me just leap out a minute. I should be getting close to full. I wasn't actually counting, so let's see. 87. So one more bucket full will be enough. Then we don't need to go all out 100%, do we? So I want to press E to climb out, don't I? And jump down there. Leap in, and we get one more full bucket, and that will be our first dumper load. And we're going to do 3, so we've just got 2 more to do after this, and then we can go and get all of that gold. So then we've got a big trailer, but that one's already out at Rivertown, isn't it? So we're going to need to go out and get that, unless we just use a small trailer. Yeah, it might just be quicker and easier just to use the small trailer that we've got here, and then we could leave the small trailer out at Rivertown and bring back the big one for next time if we do decide to do that again. If we think that, you know, that actually that process is working really well, we could rinse and repeat that process and have like loads and loads of work. I don't know is there a limit to the number of workers you can have? Has anybody encountered a max limit to the number of workers that you can have at any one time? That was saying 96% just now, and then the loose dirt on the top just kind of rattled into place, and then it changed it to 100%. So we do need to sort of take that into account, I think, when we're filling this one up in future. It'd be nice to get the bulldozer here. We can level off some of this area, and I'm always concerned I'm going to drive this thing into that hole down there. I really, really don't want to do that. That's one of the things that is definitely not on my to-do list. We've also got the problem with the Magnetite trailer. We stuck a load of dirt into the Magnetite trailer yesterday, and it's not allowing us to empty it out over at the Magnetite factory. We couldn't there was no option to empty it out, but it let us put the dirt in there. So I'm a bit concerned about what's going to happen with that. We'll put some Magnetite in there, and we'll get some that we know is Magnetite, and we'll put that in there, and we'll sort of see what happens with that. But I'm a little bit concerned that what we've done is we've essentially rendered that trailer useless, and if that's the case, we're going to end up having to buy another Magnetite trailer, because the Magnetite trailer is very useful. It is, you know, it's a profitable thing to have, so I want to be able to keep using it. But yeah, if we've kind of destroyed the trailer as it is at the moment, although if we dump, we'll try getting a bucket with just like a little bit of Magnetite in there, only a small quantity, and we'll run that one over to the factory and just see. No, don't get stuck, no, please don't get stuck. I'm not watching what I'm doing. If we just put like 10% in a bucket of Magnetite and tip that into the trailer and run that over to the factory, we can sort of see what it'll do then, whether it'll let all of it out or if it's just going to let the Magnetite out. And if that's the case, it means that we've got dirt in there that is now stuck. It's permanently in there. There is nothing that we'll be able to do about that, and that's a little bit of a nuisance. We just sort of have to... I mean, we can work around that. It just means that we'll only get 7 grand for a full load instead of 10 grand, and the dirt will end up just staying in there. So hopefully we might be able to find a solution to that. Hopefully there'll be something sort of added in or something like that that we can do to cure it, but we'll wait and see. We don't need to worry about it at the moment. We need to finish filling this up. So there's one trailer load is in. Start working on the next one. I don't know if we're going to be able... I don't think we'll have time to do like all of this plan today. I think it's going to sort of extend out into tomorrow. We should be able to get we'll get the 3 loads done. That'll be easy enough. And then we'll have to see about the rest of it afterwards, whether we've got time to do a complete wash. We might have time to sort of wash some of it out, replace all the mats and that, and then to actually complete the whole thing with using the Magnetite separator and the wave table and that. We might have to sort of finish that one off tomorrow. But I think that'll be okay. It's quite good fun, actually. Now that this truck is making a big difference. The whole tier 3 thing, when you were just stuck using that wheel loader, was not fun at all. I didn't really enjoy doing that. I found it to be quite... I was going to say stressful, but I mean, it's not exactly stressful. But it was quite frustrating. It was frustrating. It was annoying trying to use that wheel loader backwards and forwards. But now that I've like remapped the controls for this excavator, and I've started to get used to using this excavator with the keyboard controls, it's working really well. I'm becoming comfortable with using it, and also this whole dump truck is just absolutely fantastic. It's made such a difference to the quality of the gameplay. It's an altogether different experience now. Compared to what it was when we were just messing around with the wheel loader on the tier 3. When we just had the wheel loader, the tier 2 was the better stuff. The mobile wash plant was the one that we wanted to do. But now, this seems to be the way forward. Well, I mean, we're going to find out once we start rinsing out those mats. That is going to be the crucial bit as to whether or not it's going to genuinely be worth it. I am hoping so. I've heard figures from 40 ounces all the way through to 80 ounces for a single wash for 100% mats. Now, we won't actually have 100% mats because we are... it's not quite 50% for 3 loads, was it? It was like 48%, so we're going to end up with like 96%, something like that. I'm quite happy with that. I don't need it to go to a full 100% because I feel that 100% is kind of, we're losing gold then. The majority of the final one, there's going to be gold going missing, isn't there? Unless I bring it over and then I switch the plant off as soon... I switch the bucket off. Once it's like 99%, I switch the bucket conveyor off so that it stays like stored in the bucket conveyor, and then we let the mats go right up to a full 100%. Now I think one more bucket full is going to be that dumper full. So let me just grab one more bucket and then we'll go and check it. It's probably going to be 80% again, isn't it? I haven't counted. There's one thing I would like is to have like an indication on the outside to say it's full, because it gets to the full point and then you can keep tipping it in, so you're not actually sure if you've completely filled the thing or not. So I would very much like to be able to do this from outside. Right, that's full. That is 100% full. And I'm just going to leave the excavator on because I'm coming back in just a moment. Take the handbrake off and start rolling. And it's probably going to go to 100% in a minute. Once the dirt moves, yeah, we go, 100%. Dirt's just sort of moved and settled into place, and it's registered as 100%. So I like that little aspect of it. We actually timed that really well. I wasn't counting. It's just I was looking at a visual on the actual truck, and it seems to be fairly accurately represented as to when it's full by just looking at the visual on there, which is really, really good. I like the fact that it does that. It doesn't look full and it's still at like 80%. It does do it in increments, which is a testament to the accuracy that they have tried to get into this game. And yes, like we've said before, there have been bugs and issues, but it does seem to be working now. Most of the bigger bugs have now been sort of gotten rid of, and the smaller issues are now being taken care of, and so more and more and more this game is becoming the game that we all hoped it would be and the devs originally intended it to be. It's all coming together, and I really love that. I really do. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and I've supported this game right from as soon as I discovered this game. I went and I became a backer and I supported it. I mean, I missed the really early stage, so I wasn't actually able to get the very first packages because I didn't know that it existed until then. So I was a little bit late to the party, but I still managed to get in on the Kickstarter, and I got the demo and stuff like that, and I did have a go with it, and that was all great fun. So we've got a pile of tailings here. We need to do something with that. That is up to 67% so far. It's still running through, so there's going to be a bit more in there, and the buckets are 17 and 12. I think the buckets do end up with quite a bit of gold in them. So we'll be able to come back and look at those in a bit. We want one more load, I think, is going to be about everything completely full. So if we head over and we'll do one more load. I mean, we could always get a 4th load as well today. Get that back there so that it is loaded up and ready, and we can then just inch it forward, the whole plant back there. We can just kind of slowly let it fill up and reach that 100% mark, so that we can actually accurately say this is how much 100% on the mats is, because I think that 100% on the mats is going to be the same amount of gold regardless of where you're picking it up from, because it's 100% on the mats are full. The mats are 100%. I think it just takes longer to fill them up from different places in the claim. Now, if I've got that wrong, please head into the comment section and let me know. You know how much getting things wrong irritates me and bugs me, and I like to make sure that I have all of the information that I give you is accurate. I do not like giving false information. So if I've given you some wrong information there, make sure you head into the comment section and say, "Oi, Frith, what are you rabbiting on about?" It's not like that at all. It's like this. I need to lift that one up a bit. Just trying to push the dumper over, which isn't the way to behave. And it's already running towards the end of the day. We've got 6 ounces of gold now, but it is starting to get towards the end of the day, which means that we're going to need to be going to bed soon. I think we can run for another couple of hours, but yeah, it's not going to be much more than that. I don't think I'm getting quite full bucketfuls at the moment. I think it's just my bad driving here for a second. So let me just bring that. I should be able to get a full bucket up there. There we go. That's a bit better. I keep spilling little bits as I pick the bucket up. It's not quite working as I intended. Nope, like that. So we're down to 28,000 gold. Now, $28,000, I should say. 6 ounces of gold, $28,000. And so I think we're okay for another 3, maybe 4 days, because we started today with $31,000, and I can't actually remember what time it was when we started this episode, but once again, when I loaded the game, there is this bug. When you load the game, it automatically takes out a loan repayment. So then, as soon as you've loaded the game, reload the same save. Just go straight back to load game and reload the same save that you're on, and then once it reloads that one, it won't have taken out that extra loan repayment. So when I first loaded this one up, it dropped down to $26,000, so I reloaded it and it went straight back to $31,000 that it was supposed to be on. So just remember that one when you're loading up. If you've got a loan and it's taking payments out, whenever you reload, make sure you load twice, because it is taking an extra loan payment when it's not supposed to. It's only a minor niggle. You've just got to reload and then it's taken care of. So it's nothing really serious to concern with. It's just worth remembering, if you're wondering where your money is going, if you've been reloading a few times, that might be the cause of your issues. Now we've got, I think it's like 30 days left on our loan payments. So we're going to be paying $5,000 a day for our loan for quite some time. There's no way to do an early repayment on the loan, unfortunately. That's one thing that I don't like with the game so far, is that you can't do an early repayment on the loan. It's like you got loan sharks, and they're going... That's what we've got here. We've got loan sharks. We don't have a bank. We've got loan sharks, and they've taken all our money, and... yeah, if we don't keep up with our repayments, they're going to send George round with a hammer, and he's going to have a little chat with our kneecaps. And quite frankly, I don't really want that. So I'm hoping that they update the game and they get a respectable bank dealing with the loans, rather than George and his hammer-friendly tactics. And that way, if we do sort of have the cash, we can just repay the loan minus whatever interest is still owing. I think that is full now. So I'm just going to stop that one. Actually, lower that one down a little bit. Just stop that one right there. I'm going to leave it. I'll leave it all running. It's just easier like that. Jump in. Come on. It doesn't actually like me to jump in. There we go. Now I'm in. And 93%. It's not actually quite full. But I'm going to go and get another load after this anyway. So we should be okay. Let's turn the lights on now. What's lights in this game? L. I keep trying to press F, but it's not F, because that's lights in Farming Simulator, not in this one. So we turn the lights on. We get this load over, and we can come back. We get one more load, and then the final load will tip it into the bucket elevator. But we're not going to be using it all. We've got to be very careful that we don't let too much of it run through the plant. And when we've done that, we should be able to start taking stuff out. Just bring this one back up the top here. What percentages are we on at the moment? Can't quite see from here. Can I? I can't zoom out enough to be able to see. I'm looking. I think it's 80 something. 79, 80, around that region. So this might be enough. Actually, if that's 80%, that could very well be enough just on this one. Let me bring this one back a minute. And get it to there. Handbrake on. Press R to tip. It's R and F to control the tipping and lowering on this one, unless you remap it to something else, of course. Lift that one up there. And right, that one's empty. I'm just going to watch this just a little bit and see how much has gone through. So I'm just going to I'll take the dump truck over round to the bottom, so it's ready to race back over to the excavator for the final load of the day. And just park you down there a minute. Come over here. Right, that pile there, I'm thinking that is part of that pile of tailings that we've got coming out there. And we are on 84, 85% on those mats. 87% on one of them. I guess once one of them reaches a full 100%, then some of the others will sort of take up the slack until they've all reached 100%. I don't actually know if the buckets down the bottom make any difference, but maybe those buckets down the bottom do affect it as well. It's going to be interesting putting these tailings back through the machine to see just sort of what we get from these and how high I wonder how big that pile is going to get. Whether it's just going to be like a absolutely massive grit we keep. We've got 2 buckets there that have got dirt in, but we know now that that is just dirt. There's no magnetite, there's no gold, there's no nothing in those buckets, which makes me think that tailings down the bottom aren't going to yield very much either. And that is almost empty. What's it doing over this side now? We've put most of that stuff through. Come through here, and they are 95. Right, so it has... I reckon it's going to finish up around about the level that I thought it was. So we'll go and get one more load here, and then that'll be enough. Bring that one in, and handbrake off. Right, yeah, one more load, and then we can just sort of... We'll nurse it through, and we'll switch the machine off. So we're not going to waste any pay dirt, and we can sort of start off the next one then. Once we've cleaned everything out, we can start off the fresh one as soon as it's ready. I'll bring this up over here. We got to make sure we switch the water off before we start emptying out those mats, because otherwise you start losing gold. It starts getting washed away, and that is the last thing that we're going to want at this point, is to have our gold washed away. We've worked hard to get this gold. It's taken us many, many days to acquire all of the equipment and everything else that we needed for this. We're finally in a position where we can start doing it, and the last thing we want is for all of that hard work to just get washed away down the river. So I've got no intention of allowing that to happen. Get this load going. I'll tell you what, I'm going to load this one up a minute so that we can at least sort of make a start on emptying out the mosses and everything. It'll be tomorrow before we can start using the wave table and the magnetite separator on everything that we've got, but we can at least start cleaning the mosses and stuff today. I think that's full, so I'm just going to put this one over here and drop it right down in there. I do just want to quickly check the bottom of this pit. I'm curious. Nope, we haven't reached the bottom of the claim, so that it is actually quite a steep wall on the edge of the claim over here. So we can just keep spooning it out from this point, and, well, until we sort of reached as deep as we can go. But I'm hoping that the bulldozer will be able to help us out with that later on. Let me just stop that one and leap over here into this one. We can take this over and get it all tipped out, and then I will spend the night before we start washing out all of these mats. But yeah, if we have the bulldozer over here, we should be able to... Apparently the bulldozer is very, very good at being able to level the place off and get a smooth track running through. And what we might end up doing is trying to bring the excavator down into this dip over here, and then we can sort of start working away at the wall and stuff, moving into that. Somebody wants to work for you. Yeah, I've got a job all lined up for you, mate, once you get here. But yeah, we'll worry about the bulldozer a little bit later. We're going to... It's the mats and stuff like that we're going to do first. So I'm going to tip all of this out, and then I'm going to carefully monitor those mats so that I can get them up to 100%, and then I will stop the bucket elevator when it's approaching 100%. And I'm hoping we got 6 mats then at 100% so that we can get a really good wash. Now, the only thing I don't like here is we don't have lights on the back. You'd think that there would at least be some lights on the back for this. Go like that. Back up. That's as far as I can back up there. So let me tip this one out. And that will be all of it. So I'm not going to have time for doing very much more today. But we can at least get all of this filled up. I'm just going to move this one off of this conveyor thing, because knowing the way that different games work and that, it sort of seems like it's tempting fate. Leaving this one parked on top of that conveyor feels like it's sort of asking for it to bug out quite a bit when you bring it back in, because it's one item on top of the other, and I suspect that would be something that could cause an issue with some sort of bug later on. So I'm just going to switch this one off right now, as we have put some stuff through. We're on 8% on fuel on that, so it's nearly out of fuel anyway, and I turned it off. I judged that right. I definitely judged that right, because if you have a look, 2 of the mats are on 98% and 4 of them are on 100%. Now, is there any more dirt going to come through here? I think maybe if I turn it on and allow one more bucketful to go through, it'll do just the last little bit. So let's just do that. It's actually 2 bucketfuls gone through, probably 3 by this point. Let's run back over here and see if there's any change. 99% on both of them. Is it going to fill up? It's very noisy right here, isn't it? Who would have thought that standing next to a big contraption like this would be this noise? I mean, look at this thing. It's pretty serious kit, isn't it? I mean, to be fair, it is some fairly serious kit that we got going on here. Let me start that one up again and just let 2 more bucketfuls go in. I think that'll be enough. I hope that's enough. And that should take us to 100% on all 6 mats. No, it's not. It's still not. Because one is on 99%, the others are on 100. I really don't want to waste any dirt. That's the problem. But I want them on 100%. Next time, I'm not going to worry about it as much. Right, I'm turning it straight off now. There should be one more lot. Next time, I won't worry about it quite so much. We'll get it into the 90s and then we'll wash it out. But this time, we do want full 100% on all of them. And then we got the buckets underneath at 25 and 17%. So, everything is done. I'm going to start switching stuff off and go to sleep. It's bedtime. So, we'll switch all of those off. Actually, I'm going to need this generator, aren't I? So, I'll unplug those so that I don't do too much. And we'll switch this one off. I'll leave the other one running because we're only just going over here to sleep the night. So let's just do that and then dawn. Right. We can switch them back on again now. No, what I'll do is if I unplug these two leads like this and that one there unplug and then take this cable here, plug in there, and we need fuel. So we're going to have to refuel that one, and then the pump, I can actually just put the pump running. Oop. There, if I put that pump running, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this hose pipe here, because people have suggested that if I have the hose pipe, I can actually use that to fill the buckets rather than having to run the buckets to water anywhere else. So let's just try that a minute. I'm going to put that one there like that, and I'm going to pick up this hose and see if it works. It just says coil the cable. That's... No, please tell me that's not the case. I want to be able to fill these buckets up over here. Right, apparently we can't do it with this one. If I try putting that one down right in front of it, is that going to do it? Sometimes it does sort of do things like that. Right, it doesn't like that idea. Maybe we can do it using the one off of the wavetable. And that one's broken off a bit anyway. If I bring that one back over this way. Right, I want you to coil. So coil over here, please. It's stuck. It's stuck in the ground. Don't be stuck. There we go. I've lifted it out now. Bring that one back over here. Coil it up this way a bit. Right, and there should be water running out of there as well. No, there isn't. There isn't actually water running out. And I can't do it. It's not letting me fill the bucket from here. That is frustrating. That means that I've got to bring... I've got cable coiled up. I've got hose pipe coiled up everywhere. So I can't actually use that pipe to put the water into the buckets, which means that I've got to take the buckets over to the river and fill them up over there, because this one isn't working. Let me put this back on over this side a minute. I'll coil some of these up a bit. You know what? That's fine. We can have a little bit of spaghetti junction going on here. It doesn't matter if we got a little bit. So I'll put that one back on there. Fuel. We can do the fuel a minute. Let me just load up the fuel on here. If I take that cap off there, and can I reach you? Not quite. There we go. We're going to need you. See, I'm going to need both of them. So I've probably used up too much fuel now. Put that one. Put you down there and close you up. Bring this one over here. Load this one up. You can load them while they're still running with diesel. There's no worries about that. Petrol, you do have to be a little bit more careful. But, I mean, generally, there's no issue with refueling a small petrol engine while the engine is still running. I've never encountered any problems with it. I do sometimes do that. Usually you switch it off, mainly because the vibrations of the engine end up making a mess everywhere. So that's kind of the issue that you get. It's not the it's not the chance of it sort of catching fire. It's just the chance of it making a terrible mess everywhere. Right, so we got to find the best way to fill these buckets, and I don't think there's any fast way to do this. I am literally just going to have to run them in here one by one, fill them up with water, and run them over. And well, actually, I'll tell you what. I'll bring the pickup over. If we bring the pickup over, oh, wait a minute. I can fill them from this point, can't I? That's going to be quick. So what we'll do is we'll sling a load of them into the back of the pickup. That's got to be a better way to do it. I've got a spring and a mat in there, so I'm going to move those a minute, and we'll drive those back over to there and stick those into the shed so that they are out of the way and they're not going to get lost or damaged. Stop there. Yeah, I can't stop there, can I? I need to just go forward a little bit there. Right. Around the back, open that one, and take you. I'm going to just drop you on top of this box here, and then I want to get that spring that's in there. Lift that one out, bring that one over here, and put that on this shelf beside the other one. So we've got a couple of them in there. That's everything there. I now need to go and get a load of buckets. I'll put the buckets into the pickup, and we'll go. But I'll tell you what, we're just about run out of time. So what I'm going to do is, between now and next episode, I'll get a whole load of buckets of water so that they are all ready to go. And I'm going to get... Well, we'll start off with 8 buckets of water, I think, because we've got 6 mats, and I'm curious to see just how many that we can get. So if I get 8 buckets of water to start with, we can fill up all of the buckets, and then we can come down and we can start washing the mats with the buckets as well, and we'll see if we need to get any more. So if I get these all loaded up with water and ready, then tomorrow we can rinse out these mats, and we can take them all... put them through the Magnetite separator, put them through the wave table. We've also need to run the Magnetite trailer with a small quantity of actual Magnetite over to the factory and see if that is actually something that we can benefit from. So there's nothing going in that one, and it doesn't fill up there either. So let's drop that in. Just so that we can see what's going to be the issue with the Magnetite trailer. We may end up needing to buy a new Magnetite trailer, which is going to be a bit of a nuisance. I really hope that we don't. I really hope that we can just, like, empty it out. We just don't get very much money for it. I'm going to drive over the pipe there. That's not a very good thing to do. So, yeah, we'll carry on with this tomorrow. So if you enjoyed this episode, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. But until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.